Oh, hey, I'm Joe Mack. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Some time ago, I asked for some recommendations for my TBR, and this book was the most recommended book in that list. So I picked it up. It took me some time to get to it because of Shadows Upon Time coming out, so I reread all of Sun Eater, but as I promised, I did read it, and I loved it. Let's get into it. Project Hail Mary was wonderful. It was framed in such a way and told in a way and with a voice that was very refreshing for me. It was more of a harder sci-fi book. There's a lot of math, and the character who you follow, Dr. Grace, is a middle school teacher. But he is a very smart middle school teacher. He is I wouldn't say like failed researcher or scientist. He just didn't like how the other scientists treated him, so he went and became the cool teacher for a bunch of middle school kids, and he loves his job, at least the way that he tells it. And this character is relatable. The humor, when it shows up, is natural and organic. The characters in the book are engaging and diverse and different enough to really set them apart. And there is a point in the book where another character is introduced, and I did not expect that or see that coming. And that was very refreshing for me. And also, they're making a movie. Ryan Gosling's going to be in it. That's really the big sell. The trailers for that have been awesome. And honestly, the most recent trailer that I saw, I was upset about some of the things that they included in it. But let's get into it. Let's talk about it a little bit more and whether or not I think you should read it. First and foremost, before we even get into any of the details, spoiler or spoiler free, should you read this book? This is what I want to do for my rating systems moving forward. I feel like things are so vibe driven now, and they're so subjective that I'm not sure how much the numbers that I give out mean to you or myself. So I'm going to stick to a very simple pass-fail system. We're going to read it or don't read it. We tried it out for spooky season. I'm going to continue that trend and see how it goes. With Project Hail Mary, if you like sci-fi or good books, I think you should read it. This book is unapologetically a sci-fi book. It deals with a lot of science. They bring up math. They talk about how spaceships work. It's dealing with something called the astrophage, which is more or less eating our sun, which is going to have insane ramifications for the rest of the planet. And just like the pass in football, our last shot, our Hail Mary pass, is this mission that the book is about. Now, I did have some negatives. It's not all positives here in this book. I think that the positives were the main character. I think he's great. I think Ryan Gosling, honestly, this isn't going to be about the movie, but just it is relevant at this time. I think he specifically is going to do great. I think that's a great casting. I think that the mission is believable. I think the premise is believable, and the way that they solve it is believable. All those things I enjoy. I enjoy the science, and I enjoy why the character knows the science and everything that they do there. I think the dialogue in the book is good as well. The things that I don't like is the flashbacks. The way that information is kind of given to you, starting at one point in the book through flashbacks, I think is appropriate because of the way that the story's being told. However, I think there comes a point where it was overplayed, I guess is what I'm trying to say. That, like, it's not like a too much of a good thing situation, but it is a too much of this thing situation. I think that at one point they could have just given us the rest, or, you know, just kind of like not given us some of the stuff that they decided to. The jumping back and forth did get old for me, but it wasn't so detrimental or so negative or immersion breaking or nails on a chalkboard for me, whatever analogy you want to make for it. It wasn't so bad that it made me not enjoy the book. I enjoyed this book very much. I both read it and listened to it while driving. The audiobook is great. The narrator puts a lot of emotion in his voice. He delivers the lines very well. And for all the other characters, they have their own voices. There's no monotone or anything like that. This is a first-person book. Yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic read. I understand why everybody suggested it so much. You know, it's not super long. It's about the length of what you expect an average standalone book to be. It was a great read. And if you're looking for a palate cleanser, if you're looking for something that's just, you know, enjoyable, just overall enjoyable, and you like sci-fi, this is definitely something that I think that you should pick up. You know what? Actually, there was another thing that I thought could have been done better. I think that the end of this book was a little too efficient. This is one of those books where you put all the time in and go through this adventure, learn all this information, go through the ups and downs of the story, and the end felt quite abrupt. It was done well, and very efficiently. So it's not a case of quality in the writing that I have a problem with. It's just a case of the amount of content and or chapters to portray the end of this book that I would have maybe enjoyed a little more. In case this is a story that you want to be in the dark as possible for, whether you are going to see the film or whether you are going to read the book, I do want to give you a little bit of a spoiler warning. I do want to get a little bit more specific on the next things that I'm going to talk about. I do try not to spoil things too much, but I am going to name characters or talk about the additions of characters or problems that are solved and whether or not I like those things. So this is your spoiler warning. If you want to be in the dark as much as possible, I'll see you in the next video. So with that being said, did you like how I assumed the sale that they would be back?
Got him! Got him!
With that being said, I didn't expect the actual aliens. Right, Astrophage is technically an alien. It's alive, right? But I did not expect the Iridians in this book. I went into this very dark. I didn't even read the back of this book. I just took everyone's word for it that it was a good book, and I dove right in head first. So it was very cool for me to see that it took that turn. And the relationship that develops between Rocky and Grace is amazing. I absolutely loved it. I loved their dialogue. I loved how real all the science, math, and learning the language of each other turned out to be. All the hoops that they had to jump through because of their different living environments with different atmospheres, the ammonia versus the oxygen, the temperatures, all of that was so interesting, and it really shows that hard sci-fi, and I'm not a super smart guy, but hard sci-fi, when it's done well and it is done in a way that it explains things to the reader in a non-condescending way, and the way that the exposition's handled as Grace problem solving, because it's first person, so we're in his head. So the fact that he's problem solving gives us the information that we need to understand what's going on. I think all of that was handled expertly. That's really the only spoiler I wanted to go into, and it's also the thing that they showed in the trailers that I thought was wild. I can't believe they showed that off. I don't think that part of the story needs to be portrayed to hook anybody, to get them to want to see it or to read the book. Honestly, I think the premise is enough, and Andy Weir, his experience and history at success should let you know that it's going to be something that's good. But they did, and now I have as well, if you've come this far. But the book was wonderful. I really, really did enjoy it. And I just wish that the end was longer. I don't like that it was one chapter. I think that it was handled very efficiently, and I wasn't lost, and I understood what was happening. But I was kind of left desiring. I wanted to see how Earth responded to him coming home, because he was supposed to die, so they just assume he did, right? Because he sent the Beatles back. But I would have loved to see their reaction to Grace returning. I would love for them to know about the Iridians and all the things that Grace had to do, especially knowing that he was the tertiary science expert and that everyone else died. I think that he as a character deserves that after going through everything that he went through, right? So that's my big complaint about the ending. Yeah, I think at one point we could have just like got all of his memories back instead of continuing to jump back and forth, like I said earlier. But that's about it. If you've read this book, if you come this far, I assume that you also read Project Hail Mary and you wanted to hear some of my deeper thoughts on it. So let me know. What did you think? Did you like how often we jump back on those flashbacks? Did you like how efficient the end of this book? And are you looking forward to the movie with Ryan Gosling? Let me know, guys. Get in those comments. Love you. Bye. Book.
Book.